I'm starting off with a yawn. That's good. Great. Yeah. Sorry. Not my intention. It really isn't. Uh, but that's how it sometimes goes. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Sorry. I am just taking and reposting the announcement of the stream. Doing a little bit early today. Happen to have some time. I really don't know. I was. I'll be honest. I almost didn't. I'm sorry about the yawning. I really don't know why I yawned. I'm not tired. I don't understand why streaming somehow invokes a yawn response. I have no explanation for that. I really, really don't. Anyway, I almost wasn't going. Man, I'll tell you. This is one of these things. I look at other artists and what they do, and there's days where uh, I can I can come up with interesting things, and then there's stretches of time that I'm just completely idea free. I'm yelling. I don't understand it. I really don't. But I don't know. It's such a weird thing. And then I look at our artists, and I wonder if they're the same way. You know, and I hate getting into that particular. I don't like being in that rut because I feel like I'm always afraid, and I don't know if this is a common thing or not. I truly don't. But my fear always is that I'll get into that rut and I won't be able to get out. That I'll not be able to think of an idea. You know? It's weird. I hate it because I know that it's not necessarily it's not a good thing to be driven to create. You know, there have, just like everything else in life, there has to be a rest period, right? There has to be points where you sit there and go, okay, you don't have to make something right now. You know, it's okay if you don't have an idea. But on the other side is that fear that, okay, am I never going to have it? I mean, obviously I'll have ideas. I know it's not going to literally be the end of me thinking of anything. I'm not, I don't want to over dramatize it too much. But there is a part of me that is afraid that if I go for a while without doing anything, then I'll just lose it. It's such a... and the yawning, I'm sorry, the yawning irritates me hugely because I don't know what brings it on. I really don't. I mean, it's not like I, did 18 hours of backbreaking work where you'd understand why I'd be yawning. It's just strange. I do have coffee, though. I'm going to be sipping that intermittently. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Anyway, yeah, I'm in one of those weird little ruts because I finished two major pieces, both of which I've been working on for quite a while, and maybe that's part of it, is I've been so locked into those two images that my brain kind of has just gone into a rest mode, which is fine, and I don't want to force it because I don't think good work comes out of that either. But at the same time, it's strange. But I'm going to do something. I've had this in the background for a while. This mushroom image, which I think I'm going to do one variant that's Dr. Shroom, which I've talked about that. It was a long time ago, but I talked about it. And then I'm going to do a version that is just mushroom based. And I have no interest in mushrooms. I truly don't. But I kind of just like the idea of this image for some reason. Like I can't shake this image out of my head. So let's see. Hold on. I'm just looking at different groupings here. I don't need this group. I've duplicated it. Oh, here. Let me, oh, hold on. I think I have to sneeze. Let me mute for a minute. Woo! Yep, I did. Okay. Had to sneeze. Better to do that off camera. Coughing and sneezing. Two things you don't want to do into a mic. Anyway. Okay. Oh, here. Let me switch over. There we go. I'm not even doing the transition thing. It's fine. Let's see. What are the group things here? I need that one. I don't need that one. I don't even think I'm going to keep this mushroom. Not in this image. I don't think for this image I'm going to. I think I'm just going to stick with this other one because I kind of like this other one. I have to admit. There's something about it that I just don't. I like mushrooms as a illustrative device. I don't like them in real life. I don't eat mushrooms. I have no interest in mushrooms. I don't put them on anything. Nothing. But, drawing guide. Okay, so here's symmetrical. Let me do this. This is really just going to be a kind of, I don't want to say I don't care stream, but a very carefree stream. That's a better way to put it, isn't it? A very carefree stream where I'm going to do something like this. And let's switch over. What are all these groups? I don't think I need all these groups. What is all this? Okay, I don't know what those were, but we'll leave them on the other one. I've duplicated this, so it's not... I might leave those. What is this? Is it empty? What is it? Oh, it's the... I don't need that. I duplicated this off of the other one, so I have not lost my original kind of mushroom idea. And if I get back to that, I get back to it. I don't, I don't. In any event, let's get a brush that we want. Here, let me set this down like this. There we go. Make sure you can see that. You can. Let's test it. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. No, no, sir. Okay, so I definitely need it bigger than that. So let's go to like maybe 15. 15 seems good. Yeah, this is the trick. Because I like smooth lines. Right? I think like a lot of people. If you're an artist, you tend to like smooth lines. Geez, whoops. Okay, let's see something. All right, not the God, the ends are so bad. My starting points on the pen are always awful. They always are. They're always shaky and weird, and they're stupid, and you know, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about. Oh, you know, I'm gonna go to a different layer. Layer, assist, because I think I'm gonna modify the bottom. I like that to be even. There we go. Okay. It's not rounded though. That's not a rounded shape. No, this is all wrong. It's all wrong. Let's go back to this. I want a nice rounded kind of cap on this, so it's like this. But even that, see, it's still too domed. Let me hold on. Oh, jeez. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. That's possibly workable. Hold on. It might work. Let's see. This is one of those things. In my head, this thing is perfectly formed. But there's that confluence, the struggle to get what's in your head out onto, in this case, a virtual page. But still, it's just so maddening to be able to picture something in my head, what feels like perfectly within my mind's eye, and not be able to just do it. Just frustrating. It's okay, though. It's just how it is. All right, so let's go back down here, because this is a separate layer, yes? Yes. Okay. Let's see. All right, there's... I can live with that. That's okay. I'm all right with that. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now, that's going to have to be bigger. Get down fat base. This will also turn way down. We will... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's go ahead and clear this out, because no, let's not clear it out. Let's go ahead and do another one. Turn on the old assist, because I do want it to be uniform here. And let's see if we can do this. Let's try this. Nope, too narrow. I want some sweep. I want some curve. Nope. Okay, the bottom sucks, but I got the top, so that's okay. So let's switch to painting. I don't want it to look like one of those things hanging off of people's trucks. You know what I'm talking about. But I do like the curve to it, so we'll go here. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can make this work. Nope. I gotta sweep up. There we go. There we go. Ooh, man. There we go. Yeah. There we go. That's it. That's the mushroom shape. Got it. Okay, so we can take... Oh, there's nothing there. Let's go ahead and take this off. Okay. I want to stream because I'm in a very good mood, too. Number one, it's Friday, and it's a long weekend in the United States because we're celebrating... Now it's not called President's Day anymore. Now it's called Washington's birthday. Who cares? It's just... The way they shift things around... I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter. When I say who cares, none of these holidays mean anything to me. I really none of them mean anything. So fine. Washington's birthday. I think they used to call it Washington and Lincoln's birthday or President's Day. Whatever. It's fine. All I care about is I get Monday off. So fine. Okay. So now what we want to do is turn off that and that. So those can go away. I don't really need these anymore. There it is. Goodbye. Okay, so here is our mushroom. We have a mushroom. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the mushroom as the frontal focal point. And then there's going to be some background stuff. And I'm going to try to... I don't know. I want to try to do something... I don't know, hippy-dippy, trippy type stuff, you know, wacky in the background. I do want to have that fungus crap on the bottom, though, that you can see in this group. I do really like that idea. So I do want to kind of form that here. Yeah, see, I like that, because there's stuff that forms on mushrooms, and I kind of like the idea of still having that. So I'll use that as a rough template. There we go. Okay. Let's put it on top of this. This does not... Now, number one, doesn't need to be mirrored, and also I want to drop the size way down, because this should be smaller. Oops. Oh, no, smaller than that. Let's drop down to maybe 5. Let's see what 5 looks like on there. Yeah, okay. I like that. So we're just gonna form some fungi. What would be fungal fungi? Whatever. Fungal moss. We'll make some fungal moss. So just so that I can see what I'm doing, I'm gonna transparent that down, just so I can get a nice clear image of this, and then we'll just kind of form this stuff. We'll have it coming off a little bit, and then it's gonna have it creeping up a little bit. And just, you know, because this stuff does form. If you actually look at mushrooms in the wild, you will see that often the bottoms of them have stuff on them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just outgrowths of the mushrooms or parasitic something or whatever. I will be taking periodic sips of my coffee. So yeah, 3-day weekend. So I'm very happy about that. Also just got back from the vet with my dog, and she's doing well, which is great, because anytime I have to go to the vet with my dog, I have, of course, a secret terror that they're going to find something wrong, which would utterly destroy me. Fortunately, at least this year so far, everything is looking good. She's gained a little weight, but we can address that. Compared to where she was not all that long ago, when she had to have double hip surgery, which was a horrific period that I'm not in any hurry to revisit in any way. So we'll keep on top of her weight. Make sure that, you know, she's doing all right. Okay, there we go. Let's drop that way down. Okay. So, okay, let's jump to here. So we'll do a little bit more of this stuff. And what I wish I had done, which I didn't. Oh, wait, maybe I did. Hold on. I did! Oh, amazing. I was shockingly smarter than I would have expected myself to be. Okay, so I did actually separate those out. That's good. So we'll put a little bit more of the fungal stuff down here. And we'll just have that, again, bubbling up a little bit. Just give that some bubbly, fungible texture. There we go. But, yeah, so clean bill of health from the vet for the pup, which is great. And going into a 3-day weekend with that taken off my mind, also great. And yeah, so good Friday all around. Very nice. Very nice to go into the weekend not worrying about my pup's health. That's great. And then I thought that maybe our garage door was broken. It's not. Managed to fix it. It just did come off the track somehow. So that was also nice, because I'm sitting here going, okay. Because our power randomly went out for a few hours this morning. Actually, very good timing on the power outage, I have to say. We've been fortunate on the power outages we've had this year. They have all been well-timed for the most part, where they either start at night, close to when we were going to go to sleep anyway, or in the case of the one this morning, it happened to be right around the time that I normally take my dog out to go to the bathroom. So that worked out. And I've got to tell you, I love the fact that 5, 6, 7 years ago, I really went crazy on solar lighting in our backyard. That solar lighting has paid off so well. It's just these little solar spotlights that kind of aim downwards. They're fantastic. So with the power out, it makes no difference. Don't have to turn on the big bright back Klieg lights. And without power, I couldn't anyway, so solar lights took care of it. Obviously, if they weren't charged, it'd be a different story, but we've had sun lately, so it hasn't been an issue. Coffee! I did a stream of the Saboteur a bit yesterday, and boy, that game, when I went to close it, made a horrific sound that I really hope the stream did not capture. I have a feeling it probably did. I will correct that if it did, because the sound was so bad. It locked. I could not break out of the program to the extent where I finally just restarted the machine. In the middle of the stream, I didn't even care because the sound was so bad. And I have a hunch that anybody that was on the stream was hearing it. So I just went, screw it, I'm restarting the machine. That's the only, not the only, but, well, no, really it is. The only bad thing about running older games is that you do run into that where, you know, sometimes you just get these weird glitchy errors. So it was unfortunate because I spent much of that stream complimenting the fact that the game really holds up. It really does. It really holds up as a modern game, or in a modern gaming landscape, I should say. It really was. I was very impressed with how well it held up. So that was unfortunate. Not a huge deal. I'm still going to play it. I hope I can figure out what I'm probably going to do is end the stream before I close the game. And that way, that can't happen again. I'll basically bring the stream to a close and stop it, and then try to close the game. Because it may have been an interaction there, I'm really not sure. But I really do not want to subject anybody to that noise again, because it was almost like this very loud clicking sound. I don't know how else to describe it. And I could not get the game to shut. The game would just not shut off. Even Control-Alt-Delete, which normally on Windows will, even with I couldn't even get the task manager to come up. That's how bad it was. And I don't know if it was again, it may have been a Twitch stream, Twitch Studio interaction. I'm not really sure, but it was no fun at all. I can tell you that. Okay, so we've got our little mossy stuff on the bottom here. So we can turn that off. And we can come to here and we can apply a mask. I'm going to try to start doing this because, you know, it is the smarter way, especially with something like this where I really don't have it very well mapped out ahead of time. This is just me spitballing this off of a sketch I did in maybe 2 minutes a while back. So masking is probably a smart move until I really lock this thing in, and then maybe I'll do a more destructive deletion type thing, but right now, this is fine. I'm going to stick with this. Okay. What I should do is I should pull the opacity down just so I'm masking only where I need to. And, yeah. Okay, I think I got to do a little bit more. No, that's it. Okay. Yeah, the other parts are out. So let's grab our paint. Oh, good. It's not too much. Perfect. So, yep. Okay. Yeah, so, but yes, it's strange to, sorry, I'm ping-ponging all over the place here. It is weird to feel like I should be having ideas all the time, and I just don't. Sometimes I just don't. I assume that's probably pretty common. Boy, I don't particularly love that. Let's fix this. Let's come here. Let's go ahead and, let's erase this a little bit. I don't like the way that's laying. We'll fix it. No problem. Just something I gotta, whoa, wrong one. Just got to fix that because it doesn't look like it's laying, so you're like flush on the edge. Don't like it like that. I'd rather it come up like that and look like it's sort of wrapping on. That's better. I don't even have to adjust the mask. So we're good on there. Let me just see. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and dial that back up. And then I got to figure out how I want to do the top part. Because I want to put like a pattern to it. I want this to kind of have a weird... Let me take a look. Hold on. Coffee! I love you, coffee! Let me look very quickly. Oh, hold on. Is this some? Do I have a bot following me here? Really, it really is astonishing. The bot problem. On as far as the whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. I mean, the bot problem is both good and bad. It's both present and not present. It's overblown and yet it is present. So, okay, let's take a look. Let's want to look at some mushroom caps. Some actual mushroom caps. Mushroom caps. Not vaps. I don't know what a mushroom vap is. Apparently there's mushroom vapes. That's not what I was looking for. Here we go. Let's see. I want like a nice, colorful, weird-looking one. See, I kind of like that one. Sorry, I know you can't see this. But there's one that's really interesting. It looks like it's almost got black ink dripping off it. That's fascinating looking. Yeah, there's lots of colorful ones. I want something that almost has, if not a texture, you know, let me say, oh, I spelled mushrooms wrong. That doesn't help. Let me try colorful mushrooms. I don't want to just do polka dots. I could do that, but that's very, very simple. That's interesting. Some of them have the little white fungus stuff on the top of them, too. Yeah, a lot of them do. Man, these are some really neat-looking mushrooms. Yes, this is what I like about them. I don't like them in any way to eat, but they are interesting in some of the variations that you get. Huh. That's fascinating. Sorry, I know you can't see this. And it's fine, because I'm scrolling through it so wildly anyway that it would probably give you vertigo. Okay, interesting. All right, let's see. Let's take a look. So, let's do another layer. Let's do one on top of this. There we go. Well, let's just play around a little bit, because I saw ones that had like something like this, like these growths, which is interesting because the ones on the bottom, I've actually seen that in life. This stuff down here. I've seen that on mushrooms. I've never seen the top stuff. But I just saw a bunch of pictures of ones that have these little protrusions on them. And that's neat. You know, I'm not against that. I don't mind having the bottom or the top echo the bottom in terms of the little outgrowth stuff. It's sort of a neat idea. So that'll work. I can do that. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just checking something. Yeah, okay. What are we at? Oh, 50% CPU. Not bad. I mean, I'm not counting on that holding, but it's nice that it's been okay so far. Let's see. I'm also just checking. This user list, yeah, it's so bizarre. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I act like it's a big deal. It isn't. I'm just so bewildered and curious. And that's too much. Let's do a little bit. There we go. That one's going to be behind the cap, so I don't want it to look too wild. Just to give it a little bit of an indication of depth, just a bit. Yeah, these are interesting. This was not my original plan for this. My original plan for it was something like, I don't know, like something like this that then streamed up. And I could still maybe do that, but not. I do like the ones I've seen that have these little white spots on them too. This is sort of neat. And I like that that'll echo the bottom part, you know? So I like it. I like it. Now okay, so the one there. And this may change. I mean, this might end up like the skull with all the little lines where I thought that was a neat idea, and then at a certain point I went, oh, no, that doesn't work at all. Well, not at all, but I had to change it. I had to adjust what it was. So this could very well go that route. Coffee! Yeah. We'll see. But I like the pictures. Yeah, but I do want to do something else. It's very hard to explain it. Because again, it's in my head. Like there's a visual in my head. And trying to explain that without some kind of comparison point is very tough. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because who knows if this is going to look anything like what is bouncing around in my skull right now. Probably won't. A lot of my stuff doesn't. Okay, I don't... That's too repetitive, so what we're going to do is we're going to do something like that, just to break up that monotony a little. There we go. I also saw ones that had, like, bubbles on them, like just a big... Oh, boy, do I like that better. Now I'm doing circles, and I'm wondering if I like that better. Now, you know what? I'm going to stick with my first impulse. I can always change it later. I can always change it at a different time. This is not locked in to stone or anything. So, oh, let me... Sorry, I didn't realize. Actually, I guess it's not interrupting anything. I was going to say I have Discord open and I forgot. So, but outside of maybe hearing a noise, it shouldn't impact anything, I don't think. Okay, let's do this. Just do little ones that aren't really... Oh, no, I don't like that. That was too... not lazy, loosey, I guess. Yeah, I'll do a little bit up there. Ah, man, I keep botching the little ending points. They're not quite lined up, and I don't like it when they're not lined up. It's just my own little thing. I don't like it. Says there's one person viewing. Hello, one person viewing, if there is in fact one person viewing. Good afternoon, I guess it would be. In California, anyway. That is the last of my coffee, so you won't hear that anymore. Okay. Alright. Just keep filling this stuff in. Just little pieces here. I don't know. I don't know if I like that at all. Do I have it on its own thing? Oh, I do. Good. Okay. I don't know if I like that at all. I don't think that's working the way I wanted it to. Maybe because it's not really following... Hold on. Let me do this. I may know why I don't like it. It's maybe because it's not really following... I don't know what the word would be. A symmetrical path, I guess. Let's take a look. So what I want these things to do is kind of feel like... Oh, sorry. On the wrong layer. There we go. Okay. Turn the pencil on. There we go. I want them to feel like they're following like this. You know, like they're kind of wrapping around to some degree. Something like that. Where it feels like there's... Okay, not like that. Let's see if I can round that. You know what I mean? Like something like... I want it to have a rounded effect. I don't just want them to be randomly there. I want them to feel like they are forming the basis of something. And then have kind of a wide point there. Maybe that's not even enough. Maybe it needs to be wider. Something like that. That might be a good guide to go with. Yeah, that might work. Now, okay, let's jump back up to here. Switch back to black. Okay. Got an itch on my side. God, I've been doing this for 30 minutes already. Doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't. Does not feel like I've been drawing for that long. And that's probably because... man. The lines aren't even. That's going to bug me. Okay, hold on. This is where I'm my own worst enemy. Truly. This is where I really just... I make my own life more difficult than it needs to be. Is now the evenness, or lack thereof, of the lines is bugging me. So now I have to redo this. So I'm going to come around like this and have it come up to there. Because they're not even. And it's going to bug me if they're not even. Which is sort of stupid, but it's just the way I am. And I know it'll bug me if I don't just fix it. So I might as well just fix it. Better. The sweep of the line is okay. This is fine. That part's okay. Yeah, that's alright. But I know that's going to bug me. So now, the lines are even. Not that nature is like that. It's not. But I am. So, if I am, therefore it must be. I don't know what that means. I think I'm going to sneeze again. Hold on. No, false alarm. I might, but not right now. Okay. So, let's take a look. So let's do these little things around here. We're just going to kind of follow these lines and see if I like this better. With sort of a diminishing point there. Then we'll put some in between. But I can use the ones on the lines as sort of a guidepost, as sort of the main ones. You know what I mean? And then see, I'm not going to mirror them. I don't want them to be exactly mirrored. And I'm also making but then am I just making what's on the bottom? Yeah, I think I am. So hold on. I think I need to make them more blobular and not as elongated. This is what I mean about what's in your head is so tough to get it to where you want it to be on the actual image. And maybe that's why your brain wants to take breaks, is because it realizes that you're going to end up like this. I don't know if I like that either. Well, you know what? Wait, let's give it a chance. I'm jumping right to not liking it, which I shouldn't do. So let me, because I really don't know yet. So let me bring this down. Okay. Now, let's give this a fair shake. I don't like that either. Because see, I don't want to make them too long, because then they're just going to look like the ones on the bottom. But I need to break this up a little bit, because otherwise it's just going to be the lines. No, I didn't put that. Oh, I see what I did. I understand what I did. So I need it to come in a little bit, and then this one can be more of a, in there blob. I don't know if I like that either. Oh, man. Sometimes ideas are just so tough. Sometimes stuff just does not look the way I want it to. And I can't really work out why. Let me try something. Let me do something else. Let me do a little bit of just sketching on this and just see something. Let me just see something here. This is just me playing around. I just want to see something. Because maybe the idea of having stuff that's on there is just not going to work out. And if it's not, I want to have a backup plan. So if I just go with some, like doing some kind of shading here that then, I don't know. I'm trying to, I really should have, I should have mirrored. Hold on, let me mirror this. Just because this is just ideas. So if I do something like this, I just have it coming down. Yeah, see, sometimes just simple stuff is better. Maybe I'm just over-engineering this thing with all the bumps. I mean, the bumps on the bottom I like. Those I liked from the beginning, they're staying. But maybe I'm just, pushing this thing too far with the stuff any further up. Maybe it would be better to just kind of form a nice shader on it. Something like that. Yeah, see, that's not bad. I don't mind that. And then see some kind of way of achieving this type of pattern out of it. I just have to work out how that will happen. Like, I can't get quite where I want to. I can't form what I quite want this to be yet. And maybe that's where a little bit of a, maybe my brain is trying to give me a break to be able to start doing this stuff again. Because I kind of, I like that. Like, that in general is kind of what I'm going for. Something like that. Something like that. And then down on the bottom, same kind of, rough idea. And I don't care. I'm going outside lines. That's all right. Where it's like forming this and comes down. Forms that and comes down. And this has got to be there because the cap's there. Just do that. Yeah, something like that. Something. Yeah, something along those lines. More or less. But I don't have it entirely figured out yet. But that's kind of the general shadow line thing I'm going for. And then somewhere in the background, like, I don't know, like just like big, bloopy, weird stuff. You know, almost like just weird, strange Steve Ditko like patterns, which is not normally something I do, but for something like this, it might work. That's why I'm trying to, think a little bit, something like this where it's just repeating weird, almost like magic mushroom type stuff. It just this feel, whenever you get mushrooms, that's one of the first, psychedelics is one of the first things I think of. So something like this that just kind of forms a weird background, something like that, and just see what comes of it. Because once in a while, it's fun to just do something loose and weird and different and not really tethered to reality in any way. I mean, I just did... Well, I did the eyeball bags. That wasn't really tethered to reality, but it sort of was. I mean, the eyeballs were... I was trying to simulate somewhat realistic lighting with it, or at least the shadow lines, that type of thing. Something like this, maybe it's better to just go completely off my rocker and not worry about it, and just make something that's interesting to look at visually, as opposed to worrying so much about whether it looks like it should exist. Yeah, see, that's all right. I kind of dig this. Like, I'm all right with this, just how it is. It's obviously it's not done or anything, but I'm. That's what I mean about sometimes you just have to kind of, or at least I have to just kind of break out of whatever I was doing and just completely, do something a little bit off and weird and wacky and not quite at all what was planned. I mean, the background was never going to look like this. The original one that I had was a very kind of, it was a relatively straightforward background, or at least it was a more formed background than this. This is very, very, very loose. But I kind of like that. This is working for me. Like this, at least the background. I mean, I probably won't look exactly like this, but it might look pretty close. I do like the background thing. The repeating kind of organic patterns. That's neat looking to me, especially if I can get some interesting colors, maybe some deep dark colors back there. I could see this working. Yeah, that's not bad right there. I mean, it's just a mushroom with a weird background, but still, I like it. I like how it looks. So I could see this potentially being something that I would actually further develop. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, that's literally just me spitballing patterns. There really was no... Oh, there's Dr. Doom's face. There was no real thought to that. It was just me doing that in the background. So that's what I mean about sometimes it's very hard to tell what's going to work and what's not. Those will have to be thin lines, I think. So let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. But I just need to start with one. I just need to start with one, and then I can kind of just build around it. And just try to follow and not worry too much about whether it looks correct or not, because there is no correct in something like this. But just kind of, do this. And just not, that's the only thing is I do like my lines to be properly closed. Okay, there we go. But just kind of follow this along and, not worrying too much about image accuracy or even really following the lines too much, because I don't need to. Just going along. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that one line is a little bit more angular than I'd like it, but I don't know that I'm even going to change it. This one right here. It's a little more angular than the rest, but I don't think so much that it actually damages anything. I think it's okay. So I'm gonna leave that for now. I may... Ooh, that's an angle. See, there's another angular one. I don't want too much angle. I want this to feel fluid and sort of, organic, I guess, because it is a mushroom. So I'm trying to emulate the organicness of it, if that makes any sense, which it probably does not. But yeah. See, I'm liking that background. Again, I may change my mind the next time I look at this and go, oh man, what was I thinking with that? But I don't think so. I think this sort of fits with not that one though. I think it sort of fits with what I'm. No, I don't like that at all. With what I'm going for in terms of just kind of doing something a little more freeform, and not so much worrying about whether it's in terms of the actual forms. You know what? I want to make that line a little more bendy, like that. Give it a little bit more. Yeah. I don't want it to start turning into a sameness. I want this to feel like it's sort of emanating and free floating out of the actual mushroom itself. Ooh, there's a long one. That's what I'm aiming for. It's just something that feels, because a lot of the stuff that I do is a lot of precision, a lot of symmetry, a lot of very planned lines, which I love. I love that stuff. That's why I do so much of it. But once in a while, it's a nice exercise, just in general, to kind of jump out of your comfort zone a bit, do something that's a little bit weird and wacky and maybe isn't going to really work, but it's a little bit of an exercise of, okay, just trying something a little different. No harm in that once in a while. I don't think people, you don't have to be completely out of your comfort zone all the time. Some people are real hooked on that. I'm not necessarily, but every so often, it's probably a good exercise for mind and spirit. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, I like that. It's not overly complicated. It fits with what the subject is, more or less. Most of those lines are pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and erase them. I'm not going to worry about masking something like this, because something like this, honestly, if I need to redo it, I'll just redo it. This is not a tremendously difficult type of thing to emulate. This is not a lot of fine precision detail work that I can't emulate or do again and have it just... It doesn't have to even be the same. It could be something different. It'll still work. So let me just clean these lines up a little. And I think this is where I'm going to break for this particular stream. But I feel like it's been successful. Because I was really, as you saw, if you've watched it from the whole time, I just was struggling with those little, whatever we would call them, protrusions were not working for me. So these wacky psychedelic lines, better. I am liking this a lot better. It still doesn't solve the problem of how I'm going to do the top cap, but at least I've got, the surrounding area is not bad. I'm okay with where it is here. Again, this could change. A lot of times, not a lot of times. There's been times, like with the skull. The skull is probably the best example where I put a lot of time into those little lines, and then at the end realized I didn't like them and had to change them. But that's all right. That's part of the process. I don't mind that. But that's why I'm saying, right now I like these lines, looking at it right now, because I've been doing this for a little while. It could be that after a break coming back, I'll hate them. I don't think so. I was really struggling with those little, bubble things on the cap. They just were not working the way I wanted them to. But these lines, I feel like they go with the piece better. They're just, overall, they feel like more of a fit and less of a kind of, I'm trying to manifest something that just isn't working, which is what those other bubbles kind of were. They were me trying to make something work that honestly, at least for me, were just not working at all. And I was just trying to bend something that wasn't going to work into something that I guess I would have just accepted in my head. And that's not really a good way to go with images. It can be. It can result in... if those things had worked, I might not have done these lines. So it's hard to know how your creative process works sometimes. I really don't understand where sometimes my brain ends up going. So maybe without those mistakes, I wouldn't have done the wavy back lines. It's hard to say that. I don't know. But, let's put a thing here. Actually, I only have one where there's just a little bubble by itself over there. So I want to I don't want it to look unbalanced. So let me just do a couple. No, go back. Do a couple more in the big empty spaces of that. because there's a couple places I can put those. Just little ones, like I said, just to balance out that other one so it doesn't look completely weird that that's there and it's not anywhere else. That's fine. I don't need a ton. Just enough, like I said, to offset that one. I could have gotten rid of it, but I don't mind it. I think it looks all right. So, yeah. Yeah, that I like that. I think that's okay. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on, I gotta... No, you know what? Yes, it is. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to stop here because I've gotten this to a place where I don't hate it, which is big. And I don't want to I've talked about this before. For me anyway, there is a risk in doing too much work on something in one shot. So I'm going to save this. Save it, meaning, not do any more with it. But I like it where it is. This is a good starting. There's one thing I'm going to change. One thing I don't like. One thing I don't like, and I'm going to get rid of it now, because I will end up getting rid of it later. This. Don't like that. There. Got it. I'm going to leave this as is now and come back to it. So that's actually good. I really didn't have any idea what I was going to do for the stream. I thought this might be a short stream because I thought maybe I was going to come up empty on ideas. And instead, it worked out. So I'm actually very happy with where it is and how this whole thing went. And this will be the piece now that I'll continue on, because I do like doing simple images now and then. I don't need them all to be overly, like the Shieldra one, which was so detailed. And it took forever. This is going to be much more laid back. Even the bag of eyeballs kind of grew and grew and grew until it was a bit, not unwieldy, but it got heavier than I ever intended it to get. So this one, I'm going to try to keep it contained. That's my goal with the mushroom. Just keep it simple. Sometimes very simple visuals are really good and they're fine, and it doesn't all have to be Art Adams level detail. It just doesn't. So yes, I'm going to bring this stream to a close now. And thank you for stopping by, the person who stopped by, or viewing it later. I really don't care. I've said that before, and I absolutely mean it. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me when people watch things. It's fine. I don't care. I'm not looking to be the next insert big Twitch streaming star's name here. That's not my goal. So I just, I hope it really, my goal with these streams is just to give people something interesting to look at. I don't know if I'm even all that entertaining to listen to, so I don't know. But something neat to look at, and hopefully with something like this, not having all the drawings plotted out top to bottom and just going in and going over my own lines, but really demonstrating that the creative process is full of screw-ups. It's full of mistakes. It's full of false starts and, thinking that you have an idea of what something's going to be and then figuring out that, in fact, no, you don't. I think that's great, and I think people should be okay with messy creation. And understand that a lot of times what happens is it is that struggle or that tension. I shouldn't say struggle. That makes it sound adversarial. But there is a tension in trying to get out of your head and onto whatever medium you're using what you're thinking of. And to some extent, maybe the fact that you can't always do it is actually good. That there's a middle ground where, like with the thing with those little bumps, right? I looked at a picture and I went, oh, that's what I want to do. And then as I actually did it, and I apologize if you hear the keyboard in the background, I'm just responding to somebody who messaged me something. So I know it's terrible, terrible streaming etiquette, so I apologize. But, I started off with those bumps, tried one version of them, didn't work. Tried a second up version of them, didn't work. And then finally, that led to me saying, okay, step back from that. Do something completely different. And then I was doing those sketch lines, and that, I think, led me to do the wiggle lines in the background. Which, honestly, that's great. I think that is the way that sometimes that type of back and forth in between what in your head, and honestly, there are things I think I've pictured perfectly in my mind, but I don't know what they're really going to look like till I try to do it. So that kind of massaging of an idea, including the fact that sometimes you can't realize it exactly how you want, that's not a bad thing. sometimes compromises in the creation process actually result in good stuff, like those background lines. Or the opposite, where, I did all those little lines on the skull picture a while back, which was on one of the streams, and then realized it was overkill. Even though mentally I saw all those lines and thought it would look perfect. No, it didn't. And so I kind of re-engineered that. So mistakes are part of the process. I've said this before at least once, but I remember an art teacher very specifically saying, hey, the one of the strengths of a good artist is the ability to fix mistakes or make mistakes or errors into something that's workable. Now, obviously, that changes a lot in the digital age because you can correct so many things. But in that is this idea that it doesn't have to come out perfectly right away. And even something that you think is perfect, when you actually see it in some non-mental form, may not be perfect the way you thought, or may just not work. And that's fine. So that's why I don't, I could come on here and I could have something perfectly sketched out that I just literally trace over and then add details. And I do that sometimes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can do that too. But I like the idea of just doing like the squiggle drawings or like this, where I'm just kind of working through the ideas in my head, because that's what a lot of it is. I think sometimes people who don't draw a lot or do that type of thing think that you can just conjure everything from your head. And sometimes that happens. There are times where I've drawn something right out of the bat. Sorry, that was me hitting my fist, so that was probably a sharp sound. Sorry. I was able to do it right the way I thought of it. It's happened before. Not often, but it happens. More often, though, is this, the kind of back forth. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, it's ugly. Oh, yeah, no, that didn't work out the way I thought. That's all good stuff, too. It's all getting your mind to kind of problem solve and be creative, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, a lot of times, that back and forth can result in something better than you even imagined. So, hopefully you have a long weekend. I hope you do. If not, hope you get some type of weekend. I know some people have to work on the weekend, which is not great. We all need time off from things, which unfortunately a lot of us don't get. It's just not the way of the world, which is a whole separate conversation. But in your downtime, hopefully you can create something. Artwork, music, writing, just drawing with a crayon on the back of a piece of paper, whatever. Go out there, create something, have hopefully a very nice weekend, and we will see you on the next stream. Thanks for stopping by, whether it is as I'm talking now or sometime in the future. Go out there, create something, have a good time doing it, and again, thanks for stopping by and listening to me babble endlessly. All right, everybody, see you on the next stream. Take care.